How are you? Hope you all will be fine and safe. Students, as we know, we have started chapter number 11, homeostasis, and today we will discuss about this is our topic. Today topic is that disorders of kidney. Before that, we have completely discussed the structure of kidney, and we also discussed the completely structure of nephron. That is the important part of kidney. Now we will discuss what are disorders of kidney. There are many different kidney disorders. What are the disorders of kidney? I have already told. This means which is not proper, and order means function, means the uh, why kidney do not work properly in the body. What are the reasons? Okay, so it has many and there are many issues. Disorder के first, the disorder of kidney is kidney stones. Okay, how kidney stones are produced in the body? So answer, look at your book. Okay, when urine becomes concentrated, before this topic we also discussed about the osmoregulatory function of kidney, that two types of urine is produced in our body. One is dilute urine and second is concentrated urine. So concentrated urine is produced in hypertonic environment in which there is more solute and less water is produced. Okay, so when urine becomes concentrated, crystals of many salts, for example calcium oxalate, calcium, and ammonium phosphate and uric acid are formed in it. So when urine becomes concentrated, so the ratio of solutes produced more. And what are these solutes? These can be calcium oxalate, it can be calcium, and ammonium phosphate and uric acid when they are increased in the body. So due to that, kidney stone is formed. So such large crystals cannot, see the next page. So these such large crystals cannot pass through the body, cannot pass through the urine and form hard deposits called kidney stones. So most stones start in kidney. Some may travel to ureter or urinary bladder. Okay, so this is the cause of kidney stones in the body. So what are the major causes of kidney? The major causes of kidney stones are age, diet containing more green vegetables, salts, vitamin C and D. Okay, if you are taking excess amount of green leafy vegetables, you are taking extra salt, if you are taking extra vitamin C and D in your body, so these are the main causes of kidney stones in the body. So, what are the these are the main causes of kidneys in the body. So, what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms? Recurring urinary tract infection, and if there is recurring urinary UTI infections is happening in the body, it can cause of kidney stones. Urinary tract infections, it can cause of less intake of water if you are not taking proper water, and alcohol consumption. If someone is taking alcoholic drinks rapidly, consistently, it can also cause of kidney stones in the body. So these are the major causes. I'm repeating it again. First is the age factor. Second is diet containing green leafy vegetables, many salts, vitamin C and D. Recurring urinary tract infections. If infection is happening again and again inside the body, if there is less intake of water, you are not taking proper water, and alcohol consumption, and those who are drunk, who take more alcohol inside their body, these are the causes of kidney stones. So what are the symptoms? How can we find that these are the symptoms of kidney stones? Its symptoms are, first one is severe pain in kidney or in lower abdomen. Okay, severe pain in kidney and lower abdomen part of your body. Uh, There is a vomiting, frequent urination, बार बार जो है again and again urination issue is created in the body, and foul smelling urine. There is a bad smell in the urine with blood and pus. So these are the symptoms. You can also see it again severe pain in kidney or in lower abdomen. There is a vomiting. There is a frequent urination. बार बार यूरिन का जो है वो पास होना, and foul smelling urine and bad smell in urine with blood and pus. These are the symptoms of kidney stone inside the body. Okay. Now come to uh, we will discuss how can we treat it. This is the treatment of kidney stone. How can we treat, how can we prevent it. About 90% of all kidney stones can pass through the urinary system by drinking plenty of water. So first prevention is that if you are taking plenty of water, excess of water, so 90% kidneys can be removed from the body. But if you are taking in surgical treatment, but a person is taking a surgical treatment, the affected area is open, okay, and stones are removed. So the second option is that if it do not remove by taking excess water, then it is removed by surgical treatment. And there is another method to prevent the kidney stone, to cure from the kidney stone. That method is called lithotripsy. Its definition is also very important. Lithotripsy is another method for the removal of kidney stones. In this method, see in your book, non-electrical shock waves from outside are bombarded on stones in the urinary system. Waves hit the dense stones and break them. Stones become sand-like and are passed through urine. So lithotripsy is a method in which we all of know alpha, beta, and gamma rays. So these are non-electric waves which are at the spot of the kidney. A circle is made, and then through camera a picture is taken, and then make a passage, and then these ultraviolet rays are bombarded on the kidney stone. Because of that, the stones are broken down and convert into sand-like and are passed through urine. Okay. Now you can also see the importance of. You can also see the this box is given in book. The role of Muslim scientists. If you see, Al Nasr Al Farabi was a prominent scientist who wrote many books that contain informations about kidney diseases. The genius Abdul Qasim Al Zaharwi, known as Al-Baqs 936 to 1013, is considered to be Islam's greatest surgeon, who is invented many surgical procedures, including the surgical removal of stones from the urinary bladder. His encyclopedia Al-Tasrif, the method, contained over 200 surgical medical instruments he personally designed. This information is important for your MCQs. Okay, come to kidney failure. Okay, what are the causes of kidney failure? Above, yeah, above in above topic we had discussed the kidney stone. This is a disorder of kidney stone. This is another disorder of kidney stone which is called kidney failure. Okay, why kidneys are failed? Kidney failure means a complete or partial failure of kidneys to function. That it can be completely stop working or partial, means if some part of the kidney stop working. So diabetes mellitus and hypertension are the leading causes of kidney failure. Diabetes mellitus, which is present in the blood when the ratio of glucose is raised in the blood, and hypertension means high blood pressure, are the leading causes of kidney failure. In certain cases, sudden interruption in the blood supply to kidney and drug overdoses may also result in kidney failure. These are the main causes, diabetes, mellitus, and hypertension, but there are other causes. And what are these causes? कि for example, sudden interruption in the blood supply, कि blood supply में कोई interruption produce हो जाए, and drug overdoses. And if you are taking any drug, and you are taking much more, so because of that can cause of kidney failure. Now we will discuss the symptoms, main symptoms of kidney failure. What are these? It is the high level of urea and other waste in blood. What are the symptoms? When the high level of urea and other waste are increased in the blood, which can result in vomiting. Because of that, vomiting is started, nausea is started, weight loss is going to be started, frequent urination is started, and blood in urine. Excess fluids in body may also cause swelling of legs, feet, and face, and shortness of breath. So these are the symptoms of kidney failure. Okay, what is happening inside the body? Vomiting is started, nausea started, weight loss is going to be started, frequent urination is started, and blood in urine is started. And these excess stools in the body can cause of swelling of legs, feet, and face, and shortness of breath. So the kidney failure is treated. So what is the treatment of kidney failure? How can we prevent it? Assalamu alaikum students. Today we were discussing about the dialysis. Okay, and you can see dialysis. Dialysis means the cleaning of body by artificial ways. Okay, we can clean our body by artificial ways. It has two types. There are two methods of dialysis. First is called peritoneal dialysis, and second is called hemodialysis. So first we will discuss about the peritoneal dialysis. Okay, what is happened in this type of dialysis? In this type of dialysis, the dialysis fluid is pumped for a time into the peritoneal cavity, which is the space around gut. A space is made near the gut in the neck, okay, and a peritoneal tube is entered into the peritoneal cavity. This cavity is lined by, I will also show you in the with the help of diagram which is given in the next page. This cavity is lined by peritoneum. So peritoneum contains blood vessels. When we place dialysis fluid in peritoneal cavity, waste materials from peritoneal blood vessels diffuse into the dialysis fluid, which is then drained out. This type of dialysis can be performed at home but must be done every day. Now I will explain you with the help of diagram peritoneal dialysis. Okay. You see the diagram in your book 11.11. Okay, you will see, okay, this is a dialysis fluid, okay, and you can also see this is the part of neck. This is the part of neck, and this is a body organ. Here is a body organs, okay. You can see the diagram, okay. So how it is entered, and this is a peritoneum. The yellow tube is showing the peritoneum, okay, and this is a dialysis fluid. So when dialysis fluid enters into the peritoneum tube inside it. Okay, so what is happening? This fluid goes into the peritoneum tube and enters into the body, peritoneal cavity, and then it enters into the whole passage of the kidney. Okay, and these are the body organs, and then it is comes into the, this is the dialysis tube. This all comes here and then it is drained out from the body of a patient. And then it is drained out from the body of a patient. So you can also see a pink is showing the blood vessels, and blue part, these dots are showing, blue parts are showing the waste materials which are moving. So you can also see these are the waste materials which are going to be drained out from the body of a patient. So this is the process of peritoneum dialysis, and it can also be happen inside the body. Now we will discuss about the hemodialysis. What is that? In hemodialysis, patient blood is pumped through an apparatus called dialyzer. Okay, the dialyzer contains long tubes, the walls of which act as semi-permeable membranes. Blood flows through the tubes while the dialysis fluid flows around the tubes. Extra water and waste move from blood into the dialysis fluid. The clean blood is then returned back to body. The hemodialysis treatments are typically given in dialysis centers 3 times per week. This treatment can be taken by patients in the dialysis center in a week for 3 times. Now you see the operators in your book. Okay, you can see, okay, this is the body of the patient, and there are the two passages which is made in their arteries. Okay, from one side the dirty blood is coming out of the body. The blood from artery to dialyzer. This is an operator. Now blood is pumping from this side, then it comes into a dialyzer tube. Okay, and it will move in all these tubes, and these all tubes has an ability to clean the extra waste from the unnecessary wasted materials from the blood, and then uh, and this complete clean blood comes into the, and this is our dialysis tube which is pumping inside the dialyzer through a, and you can also see from this dialyzer the used fluids which is used from the body, that is collecting from this chart. And you can also see When whole blood will be drained over this side, then it will clean, and then the clean blood enters into the body through a vein inside the body. So there are two passages are made. One passage is made from artery, from which the blood is taken and which is clean in the dialyzer, and there is another passage which is made in the vein, and the when the blood passes through a dialyzer and when it cleans in this tube, then it comes into another tube, and this tube again enters into the body through a vein. So artery is used to taken out the blood, and vein is used to take back clean blood inside the body of a patient. So like that, and this treatment, hemodialysis is very common, and this treatment can be taken by patients in a week for 3 times. They can take this procedure for 3 times in a week. Now, these are the treatments of dialysis. Now we will discuss about the kidney transplant. I have told you that we can disorders of kidney, we can treat them in two ways. First is called dialysis process, and second is called kidney transplant. So what is the procedure of kidney transplant? Dialysis needs to repeat after every few days and is unpleasant. Definitely, we all of know, if you see in your book, it needs to be repeated after every few days and is unpleasant for patients and attendants. So definitely it is not a good procedure. So patients do not feel better. So another treatment for the end stage kidney failure. If there is an end stage of kidney failure, there is another treatment, and that is called kidney transplantation. Kidney transplantation means kidney replacement. It is the replacement of patient's damaged kidney with a donor healthy kidney. It can be replaced by a healthy donor kidney. Kidney may be donated by a deceased donor or living donor. Kidney can be taken by a deceased donor, meaning a person who has been died, and he donated his big kidney to another person, and a living donor. The donor may or may not be relative of the patient. If a donor is the relative of the patient, it is a very good, but it can be not a relative of the patient. So before transplant, the tissue proteins of donor and patients are matched. So before transplant, what is happening? They match their tissue proteins. The donor's kidney is transplanted in patient's body and is connected to the patient's blood and urinary system. So donor kidney is transplanted, replaced in the patient's body, and it connects to the patient's blood, and it also connects with the urinary system of the patient. So the average lifetime for a donated kidney is a 10 to 15 years. So this is very important. A patient who is taking the kidney of another person, healthy person, the lifetime of this kidney in the body is 10 to 15 years. It means a patient can survive further 10 to 15 years. When a transplant fails, the patient may be given a second kidney transplant. So if a one transplant is failed, then second kidney transplant can be taken. In this situation, the patient is treated through dialysis for some intermediary time. So if a patient goes second time the option of kidney transplant, before taking second kidney transplant, he has to go to the dialysis process, and this dialysis process can be of 1.5 year. It is given intermediary time, approximately it is 1.5 year. So problems after a transplant. So what are problems a patient can face after transplant? It can may include transplant rejection. Transplant can be rejected, means body can't accept it. Any infection can be raised in the body. Imbalances in body salt. Body salt can be imbalances because we have discussed in homeostasis in humans that the kidneys maintain salts and water in our body, and which can lead to bone problems and ulcers. So these are these are the problems of kidney transplant. If a person is taking kidney transplant, so it can be not accepted by its body. Maybe can any infection can be raised, maybe imbalances in body salts, and which can lead to bone problems and ulcers. So it can cause of bone problems and ulcers in the body. So now your chapter is ended. Chapter number 11, homeostasis. Now I am giving you the summary of this chapter. We have started homeostasis. Stasis means the balancing position of your body temperature and source according to their surrounding, despite any change in the environment. Then we discuss the homeostasis procedure can be in three ways: osmotulation and thermoregulation and excretion. Osmotulation, the maintenance of salts and water in the body. Thermoregulation means maintenance of temperature inside the body, and the excretion means the wasted material should be taken out from our body. Then after that, we have studied homeostasis in plants and homeostasis in humans. So homeostasis in plants, in which we have discussed about the different things. If you keep it in mind the previous lecture of your homeostasis in plants, that they remove extra water and oxygen from their body. They diffusion is happen in the body of the plant. Lenticels play important role in the body of the plant. Then we discuss the osmotic adjustment in plants, that we can divide the plants on the basis of their osmotic adjustment in three parts: hydrophytes, xerophytes, and halophytes. Hydrophytes which completely and submerge in water, for example water lily. Xerophytes are those which live in desert, and for example cactus. And hydrophytes which completely live in the sea environment, for example sea grasses. Then we this after that we discuss about the homeostasis in humans, and we discuss that there are three organs which play important role in homeostasis in humans, and they are lungs, skin, and kidney. Lungs remove excess carbon dioxide and keep it in balance. The skin performs maintenance of body temperature and remove excess water and salt. And then we discuss homeostasis in kidneys. So kidney play a very important role. Then we discuss about the structure of kidney. Urinary tract of first we discuss the urinary tract of urinary system of kidney. Urinary system of kidney consists of one pair of kidney, one pair of ureter, one urinary bladder, and urethra. After that, we have studied the structure of kidney, and we discussed kidneys are dark red bean shape. Their size is approximately 10 centimeter long, 5 centimeter wide, and 4 centimeter thick. Then we study its location. They are present in the back wall of the abdominal cavity. Then we discuss its different parts. It has hilus, it has renal cortex, it has renal medulla, it has pyramid, it has renal pelvis. After that, we study about the structure of kidney, the structure of nephron. I have told you the functional unit of the kidney is called nephron. It is very important. Approximately 10 lakh nephrons are present inside our body. Then we discuss the parts of nephron with the help of diagram. Nephron consists of two parts, renal corpuscles and renal tubules. Renal corpuscles are those parts which are not the part of the, which are not in the form of tubes, and renal tubules which are in the form of tubes. So renal corpuscle consists of two parts, glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Okay, and then renal tubules we have discussed. It consists of four parts. First initial part is called proximal convoluted tubule. Second part is called loop of Henle. Third part is called distal convoluted tubule, and fourth part is called collecting duct and pituitary ducts. And I have discussed their structure and their function in detail in our previous lecture. Okay. After that, we have studied how kidneys work, how urine is formed in our body. Then I have told you there are three main steps, and these three steps are pressure filtration, selective reabsorption, and tubular secretion. In pressure filtration, we have discussed that when blood enters the kidney via the renal artery, it goes many arterioles and then to the glomerulus. In selective reabsorption, we have studied that first urine goes into proximal convoluted tubule, then goes to loop of Henle, and the last it goes into the distal convoluted tubule, and then enters, and then it is filtered. And in tubal secretion, we discuss many important things. It consists of different ions, creatinine and urea, are secreted from blood into the filtrate interior tubule. And here we also study about the normal pH of blood, that is approximately 7.35 to 7.45, and an adult can produce approximately 1.4 liter urine a day. After that, we have did osmoregulatory function of kidney, in which we have discussed that two types of urine are produced in our body. And these two types of urine are dilute urine and concentrated urine. Dilute urine produced in hypertonic environment, it means it has less solute and more solvent. And when we talk about the concentrated urine, it produces a hypertonic environment, means it has more solute and less solvent. Okay, so today we have discussed the disorders of kidney. This is the last part of the chapter. In disorder for kidney, we have discussed different disorders. First, we discussed kidney stone, how they are produced in the body. They are produced due to calcium oxalate, calcium, ammonium phosphate, uric acid. And we also discuss its causes. What are their causes? Its main causes are age. It can be cause of diet, can be cause of recurring urinary tract infections, less intake of water, and alcoholic consumption. Then we have studied its symptoms. Its severe pain should be in kidney or in a lower abdomen, vomiting, frequent urination, and foul smelling urine with blood and pus. Then we discuss the treatment of kidney stones. We should take plenty of water, because of that 90% kidneys are removed from the body. Then other method is surgical treatment. If it is not removed, then surgical treatment can be taken, and that part is opened and taken out the stones. And third one is the lithotripsy. In lithotripsy, it is a procedure in which non-electrical waves and non-electric waves are entered into the spot, and the kidney is flushed in the body, and it converts into sand-like structure, and then it is removed through the urine. Okay, then second part disorder of kidney is that kidney failure, which we have discussed now. Uh, Causes of kidney failures are diabetic mellitus, hypertension, sudden interruption in the blood supply to kidneys, and drug overdoses. So symptoms of kidney failure, I have told you that if there is a high level of urea, high level of urea, vomiting, nausea, weight loss, frequent urination, blood in urine, excess fluid in body may cause swelling of legs, feet, and face, and shortness of breath. And for the treatment of kidney failure, I have told you there are two methods. One is dialysis, second is called kidney transplant. So, what is a kidney dialysis? Dialysis means the cleaning of blood by artificial ways. It is further divided into two parts, peritoneal dialysis and hemodialysis. Peritoneal dialysis, in which the space is made around the gut, and the peritoneum fluid is entered into the peritoneal cavity, and which removes the excess waste from it. And this dialysis can be happen inside the body. And when we talk about hemodialysis, in hemodialysis, patient's blood is pumped through an apparatus called dialyzer, and passage is made through artery, and fresh blood is taken from the body, and it passes through the dialyzer, and from dialyzer it removes the uh, okay, and remove the so I hope you understand it. This is the complete chapter of homostasis. Stasis. In next class, we will discuss this exercise, MCQs, and long questions. So please take your copies with you, and underline all question answers in your book. I hope you understand it. If you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you so much.